My first real estate investment was actually not supposed to be an investment. It was my very first house that I bought. I think I was like 26 or 27 years old, and I was just looking for my first home. And ultimately, given some circumstances, that ended up becoming my first investment and my first rental property ever. My first house actually ended up becoming my first investment property because in 2006, I was getting ready to get married and put my house on the market. It was under contract, I had it staged, and then 11 days before we were supposed to close, the buyer backed out. She decided she wanted to move to Chicago. And so here I have this house that is destaged now. I'm getting ready to get married. I'm moving into a new home with him, and I now have a house that I'm not able to sell. So then I decided, okay, well maybe I can just rent this house, and that's when I decided that I was going to rent the house. The initial doubts and fears that I had when I realized that I had this house that was falling out of contract and now I needed to figure out an exit strategy. When I was thinking about renting, I was like, I don't know anything about landlord-tenant laws. I don't know how to screen tenants. I don't know how to collect rent. I just didn't know anything about the process. So I had some good mentors along the way. I did a lot of research. I read a lot. There was a lot of websites I could go to. And finally, it ultimately became a really comfortable process for me. I enjoyed the tenants that I was renting to. I had cash flow, which was like a new thing for me. I was like, wow, I can actually like own a property. The renters are paying down my mortgage and I'm getting some excess income, which was like a really cool idea to me, somebody in their late 20s that is suddenly realizing like I can actually make money off this. So yeah, I got really comfortable with the idea of buying a property, but also being comfortable with learning how to rent it out, learning how to analyze how much rent I could get for an investment property and what kind of cash flow that would bring me, and also what kind of pitfalls I might run into with just renters in general. So I got comfortable with the process. Since I got comfortable with renting my first home / investment, I just started talking to my husband and I said, this is actually pretty easy and I think I want to look for other places. And so I started, I've always been obsessed with looking at the MLS and just looking at houses and driving by houses and going to open houses. That's just always been a hobby of mine. But I started looking for the next investment in Cincinnati, and it was in a neighborhood called Montgomery. And we found just a really perfect ranch that was in a great school district. And I thought, you know what? I think this makes sense. I think that I can buy this house for the right price, make a certain amount of cash flow with the amount of rent I was going to charge. And I had already had a really good experience with my first investment property. So I thought, you know what? Like, this is going to be okay. Buying investment properties and renting them out isn't so scary, and I actually think that this can become a great investment strategy for us. The way that I feel about investing today is I'm super careful. I feel like I have a husband who is risk averse and I'm like way more into taking risks. So I have like that balancing factor, which is great. I feel like today's market, there are not a whole lot of opportunities to find really great deals out there. But the one niche I think that I am still hopeful about and that I want to continue promoting is new construction, because I think with builder incentives and having the ability to get in on first phase of communities, I feel like there's still opportunity, especially in the new build communities, to still make money and to do very well down the road with investing in new build developments. The biggest lessons that I learned from my very first rental property, I would say, is just it's okay to break even. It's okay to even lose a couple hundred a month if that's the case. I didn't with my first rental, but over the years, I have looked at properties where I would only be breaking even, but because I knew that I was getting in at a good interest rate, I knew that I was going to be renting and somebody still was going to be paying my mortgage, even if I was breaking even. And I also knew that that property, if it was in the right area, right school district, that property would continue to appreciate. So that's one of the big things that I've learned is for me, I don't have to have, $600 a month cash flow for it to be a good deal for me. If it meets checks a lot of other boxes like location, school district, walkability, different factors like that, then I'm okay with, maybe making $100 a month or maybe just breaking even. So that's one of the things. I think the other thing too is just getting educated on landlord-tenant laws, becoming educated on how just to develop relationships with renters. For me, it's like a personal relationship. I don't look at them as just renters. I interact with them on a regular basis. We've become friends. I ask them sometimes to do, events with me and things like that. So I not only invest in properties, but I want whoever's living in my investment properties to feel like it's home and feel proud that when they walk in the door, that they're in a home, that they're in their home. So I try to really have and develop relationships with my renters. Yeah, real estate investing for me has become, I feel like I've unlocked this key to, financial freedom. I remember when I first started doing this, I had a lot of people that were nervous, what are you thinking of, Shelley? Are you sure you want to do that? How many properties do you have now? You're moving again, just a lot of people that didn't understand the lifestyle of an investor, didn't understand why we were picking up and moving again to the next place. A lot of people that were saying, but this place is so awesome, why do you want to move from here? And it's just really, for our family, it's become this way of building wealth that we never thought we would ever get to, and knowing that we're financially secure when we enter into retirement, and still having the ability to experience life the way that we really want to without any kind of restrictions or fears of financial insecurity. I would say too, the other thing is just, it's really exciting for me to realize that I feel like I figured out a recipe that for me is super simple. I want to share it with everybody because I'm this is such an easy strategy to make potentially thousands of dollars with not really a whole lot of effort. And that's the new build strategy that I'm talking about. So I just feel like I want to shout it from the rooftops. It's hey, you can play in the stock market, you can do a lot of different things, but this real estate investing strategy that I've kind of developed over the years is pretty simple, and the returns are just more than I ever thought, we'd come into. The advice that I would give to my younger self about real estate investing is to find a mentor who is experienced in that area, who has done several real estate deals, who owns different rental properties or Airbnbs, and just shadow them and learn from them. I feel like I'm that person for many people right now. That's why I'm so excited about actually getting my real estate license, because I feel like I have this financial freedom key. I feel like I have this recipe that has worked that I really want to guide people through if that's something that interests them. The thing is, not everybody wants to rent properties. Not everybody wants to learn how to become a property owner and learn how to own rentals. But for people that do, I feel like I'm hearing from more and more people that really want to get into the rental business because they understand that anytime you hear about, people with wealth, it's usually they have a very large real estate portfolio. And it's just, again, it's a way to get to financial freedom and really be able to experience life without any restrictions. So I'd say mentoring, find a mentor, and then also start now. I just can't tell people enough. I feel like there is a new kind of generation who is maybe more comfortable with renting because it just is easier, it doesn't feel scary, you can get things fixed, you can do this, you can do that, but with renting, everybody has heard this, it's just kind of throwing money down the drain. There's no appreciation with renting. You're not going to get any money back at the end of the day when you terminate your lease, and then you're still left with nothing. So the advice that I would give to my younger self who had never invested in any kind of real estate would say, find a mentor, find somebody that has done a few investment deals, that maybe owns some Airbnbs, and just shadow them, learn from them. There's lots of now YouTube videos on how to purchase your first property or how to do the BRRRR method, which is a very popular way of buying a home, renovating, refinancing, and repeating. There's just so many people out there, especially in the community of Columbus, that are very experienced investors who want to offer and want to mentor people. Columbus is a very collaborative community. The next step is to move from that and get in the door with your first house. Work with somebody like me that can show you financing options, refinancing options, ways to look at it, ways to look and analyze a property to see if it could potentially be something when you maybe want to sell down the road or rent that out and buy another property down the road, and learn how to develop these exit strategies to continue to grow those investments. So I just want to shout from the rooftops that I feel like, and I would have told my younger self this, don't wait, like get into real estate as soon as you can. Lots of first-time home buyers feel like that they don't have the resources to be able to get their first home because maybe they don't think or they don't realize that they don't need that big of a down payment to get in the door with real estate. So there's just so much education I think that needs to happen out there in the community to help people understand the real estate investing side, but also how to get into the market for the first time. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more like it, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're ready to make the first move into your first real estate investment. If you're looking to buy or sell in Columbus, Ohio, also reach out to me. I'll be happy to help.